What's up, guys? Bluddshed here. Welcome to the Bludd Heart Podcast, episode number 23. Now, what we're going to do today is kind of recap the season a little bit, get into some other things. I got my notes down here. We're going to talk about the hardcore series, and let's actually crack right into it. So, the season launched. It's been an amazing season. It took me a while to realize why I had so much fun this season in particular. I think everything has been so new. Like, we've had new sets and they've been working out great, actually. You know, the monk set, it's fast. It's good for even speeds. We've been doing like 110, even around 110 speeds with Paj Monk, Patterns of Justice. And you can even play the Sunwuko Tempest Rush version of that. And then we've been running, obviously Whirlwind speed with Barbs and Crusader speeds with AoV Shotgun. So it's just like a new, refreshing meta. It's a breath of fresh air, honestly. In addition, you can do the kill streak. You guys won't believe how many people in chat and on Twitter, people tweeting me saying, "Hey, Blood, you do the kill streak?" Just excited to discover new things, And hey, Blood, does the Uber Diablo killed me? Yeah. So spoilers, if you don't know, the 1,000 kill streak, they used to be just a pentagram. Now they changed it to Uber Diablo spawns, and he's crazy resistant to everything. He's tough. He kills you. So if you kill him, even though you kill him and then you feel a little bit of an accomplishment, right? So it's nice to have, it just shows you that hard content we like it. And people feel more accomplished, or you feel like it's a bigger, sense of character progression, that you did something that you hadn't done previously, and that was harder, you overcame it. Some people were like learning ways to kill him, like lowering the difficulty mid-rift, and trying to find more clever ways using pylons, whatever, to kill him, because he's kind of tough. He's resistant to literally everything. You can see right here, he has physical res, if you're watching the video version of the podcast anyway. Fire res, lightning, cold, poison, arcane, and holy resistance. And he's tough, man. He'd be putting people down. The cool thing is you have to go out of your way to do it. Like, you can't it just doesn't really happen. You can't really do it in a greater rift, and you can't really do it in a regular rift. You kind of have to get clever with it, like do a first chest event, then go into a rift, or do a greater rift, then go into a cow level, and try to get him to spawn that way. So it's cool. We have like new sets. Then we have, the 1,000 kill streak event, which is new. And then if you do take your time and you go through the season journey, you can get a new pet. And the new pet's kind of cool. Let me scroll down and find the pet here. So it makes it interesting, right? There's just like different things going on. And it's kind of cool. Let me just kind of show it if you're watching the video. So you get the old transmogs from a while ago, and then you get the new pet. So you get the cool goblin pet, right? And it's like a cohesive theme. You get new things everywhere. You get new experiences. You're getting new cosmetics. There's new sets, new builds to uncover, new metas to uncover. It's just really fresh. And I think that this will go down as one of the best seasons ever. I feel like I say that a lot, but this time for sure. I mean, it shows with the player retention and, and like knowing we have a future. It's powerful, We didn't know like what we were going to get until BlizzCon. Like, we didn't know if we are going to get like some kind of isometric game. We didn't know if we were going to get the Diablo Elder Scrolls. We didn't know exactly what. So it's like we're playing Diablo knowing that eventually we're going to get Diablo 4. It's confirmed. It's an isometric ARPG, right? A classic style Diablo game with seasons. And I can't wait to experience future Diablo 4 seasons with everyone. It's a real great feeling. And I think a lot of people feel it too. Like, if this is anything what Diablo 4 is going to feel like, sign me up. Getting new content, new metas, fresh coats of paint, new ways to play, builds and everything. If this is what D4 is like, sign me up. I think this might be like this the next few seasons, because we have 5 more sets coming and all that. So I would say the next season we get 2 or 3 sets, and then the season after that we get 2 or 3 sets. And then after that, I'm not sure what their plans are, but hopefully they have content at least coming until maybe I'm thinking Diablo 4 beta or open beta or alpha. Until at least let me play Diablo 4, right? So we'll see how it goes. But man, this has been a great season, and there's a lot to uncover still. I have lots of goals. I enjoyed the launch. Yeah, I did a. Let me bring it up here. I did a 1-2. I actually uploaded the whole thing if you want to watch it on YouTube. It's a 1-7, 1-70. And I did my early solo pushes here. Let me just skip ahead to some gameplay so you can see double blood. You get double blood going on. But yeah, the leveling process was smooth. I got a lot of hammered in stuff. So I ended up playing hammered in most of the way. And we got to 70 in under 2 hours. We didn't do any shenanigans. We just played the real way. We just, did the boss bounty, did the rifts, and had some fun together. And we played with my mods. So Rekka and Key are old-time mods, and Zombie's a VIP in my channel. So people that I've known for 2 or 3 years in the stream, it's just really fun just to kick back and kill some demons with some buddies and experience it with everyone. And we had a lot of people in chat. A lot of people came back to the game, and man, I can't say much more. I'm like smiling ear to ear inside, because it was such a good weekend. I did a 25-hour stream, and I could have easily done 30 hours, right? Because I just was on it. It was so much fun. And sometimes during 24-hour streams, I'm like struggling a little bit. There'll be like a moment where I'm like, okay, Blood, throw water on your face, do some jumping jacks, whatever, get some coffee. But I didn't feel like that at all. It was just a really good time. And I should have done a longer stream, because after the stream, I couldn't even sleep. I was like cracked out, I hit like my third wind or something. And beyond the second wind, and went to the third wind. And it was great, for sure. The first day, we got a 118, I believe, or 116 with Crusader, and then like a 114 with Barbarian. And then on Monday this week, Tuesday this week, Monday, Tuesday, we got a pair of 120. So then I got 120 solo GR with Satyr, and then a 120 solo GR with Barbarian. So I have a duo main, so it does slow down my progression since I'm gearing out 2 characters at the same time. It's a little bit slower versus, if I was doing one, I would have double the augments, right? And then probably double the gear. But, me, I like to have a lot of different characters and things like that. Keeps me busy. I play Diablo all season long, and this is the variety keeps me very interested in it more than anything. The off-meta stuff. So speaking of off-meta, we are going to do a hardcore Let's Play, but I think from now on, I'm going to be much more focused in my Let's Plays. Like my Witch Doctor last season was, I just play and see how far I can get. I think I want to have like maybe 2 Let's Plays a season and be really off meta, right? Like really, I'm craving something really off meta. Let me know what you guys think. I'm thinking like a Frozen Orb Wizard, or like a Melee Mancer Necro. What else is good? I think I want to save Frenzy Barb until I see the new set. I don't know if we're going to get a Frenzy Barb set, but I think I want to save that. Maybe like a Raycore Throw Barb would be unique. Like I haven't played that in a long time. That might be really interesting. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions. I'll probably do 2 this season, and it might be like 1 to 100. And if it's a super off meta build, it will be a lot weaker. So the challenge will still be there, right? And then if it's, if it's like, I basically don't want to do augments unless I can't get to 100. Because a lot of times during the Let's Play, there's like augments and it gets stagnant. And it's not really stagnant for your character, but for the Let's Play, I feel like it needs to be a little bit more like I'm just pushing and grinding and unlocking stuff. During the season, I don't mind grinding for 30, 40, 50, hundreds of hours, but for the Let's Play, I like it to be action-packed. When you guys tune in, I want you to not know if I'm going to rip or not. I want you to see the progress, and I want it to be fun, almost like a speed run kind of thing to 100 with a non-meta build in a way. So we'll see how it goes. I'll probably start it this week sometime, but I have been addicted to grinding in the season. I've been addicted to my progress. You know, I put like 40 to 50 hours in already this week, and it's been fun, man. My characters are pretty set. You know, I got my main gem. I got my trap to like 128. I got my Taeguk to like 120. So things like that. So I'm loving the progress. I've been grinding all day on stream, like 9 hours a day. It was weird. I didn't get any legend. I got like 3 legendaries in 20 hours. And then I got the rest of my legendaries. Let me bring it up here. It should be on the other screen. And I got the rest of my legendaries. I got 14 in the second 20. That was a huge actual contrast to the amount of legendaries I received on the second stretch. Let me know how many primals you guys got, or about any drops. Have you guys got any like super dope drops? I haven't got anything really to write home about, but I did get like a bunch of primals. They're just primals I don't use. My GR70 clear was a denial shield, and I had just switched out of Roland after I got it, so I didn't really even get to enjoy it that much. I was playing a Hammered In, and then I switched to Sweep Satyr, and then I got my GR70 clear. I got a primal denial shield, which buffs sweep attack, and then I immediately went to AoV because I had all the stuff ready for it at the time. I think we did our GR70 clear 4 or 5 hours in, so really quickly we were progressing, and man, it's a good season, man. Let's go. Let's get some more seasons like this, Blizz. Give us some more stuff. A lot of people are doing their seasonal journey, and I've been getting a lot of questions like, yo, Bludd, yo, Bludd, what is the best set dungeon to do? Because they're trying to complete their season journey, right? For Barb, it's going to be Immortal King. For Crusader, I would like Roland's really easy. For Monk, I'd say Sun Wukong is probably the easiest for me. For Demon Hunter, I'd say Natalia, but all the Demon Hunter ones I think are about the same difficulty. And all the Necro ones are easy too if you're playing Necromancer. If you're playing Wizard, I like Tal Rasha. All you have to do is play Explosive Blast Wizard and dodge all the worms. And then for Witch Doctor, I think Helltooth was the easiest for me as well. All the Witch Doctor ones I think have the same difficulty scaling like Demon Hunter though, so there's not really a standout one specifically. So yeah, that's kind of like what everyone's doing. The Avarice Conquest, you can do it in the cow level. Just get a Boon of Hoarder to level 50. You can go to Ruins of Corvus also. You can open like 16. I think it's 16. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. You can take off your pet and all your gold pickup. You can open up 16 bounty caches in town and just grab all the gold at once and get your Avarice that way also. But you might just get it by playing T16 with a level 50 Boon of the Hoarder, because T16 drops so much dang gold. It just might happen organically for you. A lot of people have been asking me about this David Kim system design in Diablo 4 Part 1. Okay, so if you don't know, David Kim posted some things about Diablo. We got a Diablo 4 update. This was a few days before the season started, so I didn't make a video on this because I was making starter guides and I was busy. All right, I didn't get time to get around to it. But they asked me what you feel about all this stuff, and they talked about some important things here. And I may have strong opinions. So if you have small children, okay, just understand that I'm passionate about Diablo, and we all have our own thoughts and opinions on everything. I want the game to be the best thing ever. Like, I have over 10K hours in D3, 6K stream hours with the community, and yeah. So if everybody just spews the same stuff, then we get no, it's just one-sided. So if I have a different opinion, it's a good thing. Right? So he talked about itemization, right? We're still working through all the feedback that came in regarding itemization. We're actively discussing ways to add more depth and complexity. That's amazing. The base items, including rares, ways to add greater variety item to affixes and make those powers interesting in your choices meaningful. So if you don't know, Diablo 4 added this mobile game BS called Attack and Defense. You have main stat and vitality. What's the difference, right? Well, the difference is it's not cool, and nobody wants to play a non-cool game, right? You can change the word cool for anything, like thought-provoking or interesting. Nobody wants to play a non-interesting game, right? It's just not as interesting when it's just attack and defense. It's like, it's like a literal mobile game stat. And that's the one thing we're supposed to stay away from last year. So yes, this is a good step in the right direction, all this stuff. I did play a lot of Diablo 2 back in the day, and adding making rares interesting is a good idea, but I'm just worried about stuff to farm. As somebody who plays a lot of Diablo, even if you can say somebody takes a weekend off work and they don't play a lot of Diablo, let's just say someone takes 1 weekend off to play the Diablo 4 season. If they're leveling up and they get a rare item that's better, that's the best item that they're gonna find the rest of the whole season, and you don't even have that many item slots. I don't have it. They have 2 less item slots than they have in D3. So off the top of my head, that like a druid, for instance, would have 11 only, I think. Right, 13 minus the 2. They don't have shoulders, and then they don't have bracers, I think, or something like that. So not only do we have less item slots in D3, now we're gonna fill something there that will never replace, potentially. So that's why I think rares are cool. And that was like D1, that was like the vanilla D3 where like it's interesting, right? It's just like it's a slippery slope when like I want stuff to always grind for, and you want it to be interesting, but you can't give too much power. So it's a slippery slope, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, but obviously this is a good line right here. Depth and complexity to base items is great. We're ways to add greater variety and make those powers interesting and your choices meaningful. Yeah, I want all this stuff. I want my choices meaningful. I want to give players freedom. That's amazing. So you can have fun exploring a wide range of effective gameplay possibility instead of just looking at the optimal build online. Like, they can't ever get away from this. There's always going to be the most optimal build online. You know, even games like PoE that are touted as being the most complex and the most, there's optimal builds. And there's like calculators, and you can plan everything ahead before the season starts. I think this is a lot of this stuff is being able to fail is cool. Cause like if you can fail, like if you get killed by Uber Diablo that in the season 19, right? Uber Diablo spawns and you get killed. People in the stream were telling me, Bludd, there's no way to kill it. There's no way to kill it. It's impossible. And the first thing I said was, you don't know that it's impossible. And then 5 minutes later, someone killed it, right? And then like 5 more minutes later, someone found another way to kill it. And it's just like, failure is a cool way to add like character progression, not only for your character, but for you, like as a player, you know, your experience over something. So we want a nice character arc throughout the season. We want to be able to fail. We want to be able to pick the wrong items is what I'm getting at. And then you pick the right items later. That kind of stuff's cool. We don't want it just to be attack and defense, and every level it's like +5, +10, +15. And getting upgrades triggers like that dopamine in our brain and is really satisfying. But it needs to be more interesting, in my opinion. They're going to go into a separate post, and this is what I was kind of waiting for too, but it never came yet. So we'll talk about this next week if they announce it. But they're going to go into more itemization, so we'll have more details based on it soon. Ancient items. We completely agree with the community sentiment. Ancient items, as they are, don't serve as a clear purpose for D4. As they are, don't serve as a clear purpose for D4. We should have done a better job explaining the role of ancient items in D4. We had a preliminary direction to share, but you brought up some great points. We're revisiting our designs. With your feedback in mind, we hope to have more details in the following itemization upgrade. So ancients are boring. I agree. Okay. They don't really offer anything more interesting. Like, let's say a normal item has 5 stats, and then an ancient item has 6 stats. And that's just not, I mean, even at least there's something else to it. You know, you can make it a little bit more. It's not interesting, right? We get it. But it does give me something to farm for. and then you can make trading for non-ancients, and then you can make ancients not tradable. So there's like your own progression, and then everybody could have a commerce on the non-ancients, and then you can trade and put them in the guild bank, because there's going to be guild banks, you know. You can trade, and you can help your friend gear out, but you're not giving him the best gear. So I would say that there's a purpose for ancients in terms of you're giving somebody not the best gear, so they have to get the best gear themselves, right? And like ancients and mythics, you can't trade. And then like the best gear, ancients and mythics, you have to grind yourself. So that way, I would say there's a purpose there. And I would say the second purpose is you can add another stat to them. And, you know, that's kind of like a cop out, but you could do that. And then the third reason why ancients are good, which, you know, kind of good, or serve some purpose, is the fact that it gives me more stuff to do in the season. Like, what else am I going to grind for, you know? Unless you make mythic super rare. But like, let's say I want to play a barbarian bleed build, and I'm leveling, and then I get a yellow item that I never going to replace. And then there's no ancient, so then I get a legendary at level 30 that I'm never going to replace. And then I just happen to get lucky and get the mythic that I'm never going to replace. In a loot-based game, I already have 3 of like my 11 items that are done, you know, before I even hit 70. It is kind of cool to have like one item that you're using when you hit max level. Like in WoW Classic, it's kind of cool. Like the title charm is really meaningful at level 35, because you can use that. That's like BIS PvP forever. It's like a 3-second stun amulet. But like in Diablo, like grinding, like what am I gonna be doing, bro? You know? Like if I just finished what am I just like? There's not that many builds. Like how many builds do you think there's gonna be per character? So like what am I gonna be playing if I only have less gear slots and then less ancient? So you're basically saying like in Diablo 3, I have to farm a whole set of legendaries, and then we go for ancient items, and then we have to farm for perfect ancient items, like not just primals. We have to farm for like quadfecta ancients and stuff like that. So if there's no ancients, I just feel like now my grind time is going to be severely cut down, and I'm going to be bored AF. That's just what I see. If you have rune words and you have you know, charms, and like you have other stuff, I just don't know if it's enough to keep me grinding. On the surface, we haven't played the end game. We don't know for sure. But although I agree with the community sentiment, they're kind of not interesting. It does provide a longer carrot, I guess, or a chase item for us to go for every season. So I don't know if they're completely useless, is all I'm saying. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I mean, maybe people just want to play for 15 to 20 hours. Then why have seasons 3 months, I guess? And seasons should be less than like 2 months or a month and a half, or yeah. I would imagine they're going to keep the seasonal length 3 months. So speaking of stuff to do, end game progression. We haven't decided whether character leveling and experience system would be finite or infinite. Ooh. What that just said is the Paragon system's coming back, and they don't know if it should be infinite, like in D3 is infinite. You can grind literally until your eyes bleed and you can all that stuff. Or is there going to be a cap on Paragon? They haven't decided that. We're discussing the pros and cons of both, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay, so they're asking us to hear your thoughts. I'm going to stop right here and say, they're asking the forums, out of all the player base of Diablo, how many percent reads the forums? That's got to be a small percent, right? You have to be an enthusiast level if you go on the forums and read a video game. Like, I don't know what the Darkest Dungeon forums are, and I love Darkest Dungeon. I'm not like a Darkest Dungeon enthusiast. I just like the game, right? I play every content patch. I buy all the Crimson Court, all the color madness, all that stuff. But like, I don't actually read the blog posts, right? So they're talking to the minority. So one of the feedback people were telling me in chat was, Bludd, like, you got to think about the masses. And I would say is, then why are they reaching out to the minority? If you want to know about, then why don't you just send a survey to the emails of anyone that signed up for beta? Or I guess even the people that signed up for beta are the minority. So why even communicate with us at all if you don't care about the minority? Like, why even ever communicate with us if it only matters about the masses? Because they already have the numbers. They could already see how many people come back every season, which my guess is in the millions. And they can already see how many people engage with all this stuff. And I think that most people don't engage with the leaderboard and engage with all these systems. And that's why they don't maybe care about it as much, you know? Maybe people that are casual love Paragon, you know? Because they're not measuring themselves to the top players, according to Blizzard, right? I'm just speaking hypothetically. So they're reaching out to the minority, which is me, like a hardcore Diablo player, which is you guys. You're watching a podcast and a YouTube channel based on a minority player base, right? Anyway, they're deciding whether Paragon's going to be infinite or finite. And then they say a bunch of stuff. There seems to be a concern around infinite being worse because it'll eventually overshadow power granted by other sources, saying Paragon, like right now like the main stat in Diablo 3 is like 3 times my main stat on my gear. So it does overshadow my actual character, which is the meaningful part. However, we can control how much power each system gives, whether it's finite or infinite. So whether they cap it or don't cap it, they can say like, okay, we only, like the most a Paragon can give you for a human being to farm is 10% of your total power or 30% of your total power, not 3 times your power like in D4 or 4 times your power. So they're saying like, we have sliders, we can adjust it. I'll say right now, you just cap it, bro, because it gives people a goal. Like, how do you not see this? Like, having a goal is like, how many people do their season journey? And every time they're like, Bludd, you do your season journey? I'm like, no, man. I don't care about no season journey, bro. I don't get anything for it. I mean, I do it at the end of the season, but I don't like rush it. But I know people like it because it's a goal. They like to complete something, like to feel like a sense of accomplishment. They like to get the 1,000 kill streak. They like to get the 1,000 kill streak. And it's like there's character arcs. So when they think of season 19, they're like, I got to 70 and then I got my 6-piece set, you know, and then I progressed farther. I got a GR 100. And then, you know, if you can cap your Paragon, that would be something that maybe people do. Like I cap my Paragon at 1,200 or whatever the number is. And then I completed my journey. I got my pet, you know, so I killed Uber Diablo. I got my pet. I got my GR one. Like you can see how there's different gaming avenues, and having caps, it provides goals for that. So I think a cap is important with a leaderboard, especially, and a PvP system, man. If you make it infinite, which I'm not for, by the way, I would make the gap like 10%, maybe 15% at the most. So if I hit for 100 and then you farm max for 3 months straight, then you hit for 115 basically. Like 15%, I guess, but like it doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't cap it. I know personally people in chat get demotivated. You think like when you see like you watch basketball, right? And like LeBron puts up 50 points or something like that, you know, it motivates me. I'll be like in the gym and be like trying to score 50 points. But with Diablo, when people see how strong you are, in my opinion, they get demotivated because they feel like they can never catch up and compete. So maybe that's why they're moving the leaderboard, because I don't know, man. It just seems like I don't even want to get into a leaderboard debate. This whole stream is going to be a rant stream. I could tell I'm super passionate, man. I mean, Diablo 2 had a cap on levels, like 99, right? Which took a long time, but it was there. It felt good when you got it. Not everybody did it, but it felt good. Sources of power. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to go over into sources of power. The community has shared many good points on the topic of power sources. We're reevaluating how much power comes from each source. We want to clarify that Diablo 4 power does not come mostly from items. This triggered me when I first read it because this is supposed to be a loot-based game. Like when people think of Diablo, they think of the camera angle probably, and they think of piles of loot. So when it says the power doesn't come from loot-based games, it's kind of crazy. Or from items, it's kind of crazy. We want to have a good mix of power sources. Characters naturally get stronger as they level up. This is important. I think every RPG, when you level up, you should have a point. You should put a point in something and something else, and you should feel like you're getting something and you're playing your way and all that stuff. Skills have ranks that increase in power. Okay, yeah, skill ranks are back. Talents provide specific playstyle choices. They do. The tree looks a little light, but they do. The reason why WoW Classic Talent Tree feels good, and it's small. The WoW Classic Talent Tree, you only get 1 point, and there's definitely more branching paths in WoW than in Diablo 4. So there's one thing. But when you skill up in WoW, you unlock abilities. So you go like, down the elemental tree and you get like elemental exposure, whatever it is. Or you go in the healing tree and you get nature's swiftness. It feels good. Like I can only do this because I'm a resto, So it has a lot of flavor there and not just stat increases, but I'm going to give the D4 talent tree a chance, especially if there's other things. And then it says, and of course, items grant power for meaningful choices. I think he means mythic items. Mythic items have like 4 affixes on them. They're kind of crazy and all that stuff. So something else to keep in mind is that legendary powers are just one part of an item's power, and they won't invalidate other affixes due to how powerful they are. For example, 2 or 3 normal affixes are currently equivalent to a legendary power on most items. So they're saying that there's going to be a diverse thing. Like they might have charms, or they're definitely going to have runes and things like a diverse way to build your character. You're not just going to be worried about the gear. So they're like Bludd, like a developer would probably tell me right now, Bludd, like I know you're concerned that there's only 11 item slots or less maybe, but we're going to have a diverse way to build your character, not just items, And it doesn't really give me confidence, but we'll see. It doesn't really give me the confidence. We'll see. Keyed dungeons. The next one. A big question that comes up is how exactly keyed dungeons are different from rifts. Keyed dungeons introduce greater challenges as their tiers increase through dungeon affixes. So it's like Mythic in WoW. So maybe like a tier 5 keyed dungeon will have 5 dungeon affixes. Like the elites will be invisible, the elites will do double damage, or like this thing will, like there'll be more and more. It'll get harder because they'll keep throwing modifiers at you. The majority of dungeons are real places in the world. Players will know some information about them, including what monsters, events, and layouts to expect. So that's really cool on the surface. Like if you're going to a fallen shaman dungeon, then you have to kill the shaman. And let's say they do a lot of fire damage in there. So maybe bring some fire gear. Or you have a weapon that does 100% damage to fallen enemies, and you bring that because you're planning. I like planning for stuff. When I do, I like Monster Hunter. And like when I go out on a hunt, I know like, okay, I need to bring my cold potions when I go in the snow, or flashbangs for Rathalos because he flies and you need to, or traps. That kind of stuff is cool. Okay. But is it going to be hard? It has to be hard, man. Because if it's not super hard, this won't matter. We don't care about the approach. If I have like a super high level bleed build, what would I change about it? I would just go in there and bleed everything and win, Is there going to be skeletons that are immune to bleed or something? So on the surface, this looks amazing, but unless the game's hard, then it won't matter. So if they're catering it to the masses, it's not going to be hard. So then this doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? You see how like you're taking away features, and you're taking away stuff for us to do, like adding a leaderboard. This is not going to be a traditional leaderboard for this. Why would somebody do a Mythic 5 or a Mythic 10 if there was no leaderboard or there was nothing to accomplish? Like there was no goal to accomplish. necessarily. It doesn't really make sense. There's not going to be a PK leaderboard or a HK leaderboard, they said. And not having like competition, it makes no sense. I mean, people will play for fun for a little while, for a couple weeks every season, and then they'll play something else, you know? Think about WoW Classic. Phase 1, nobody PvP'd. I played 300 hours on a PvP server. I got into maybe 20 fights, and most of them, like, I started because it was just like, it was boring on a PvP server. Look at phase 2. It's a literal bloodbath because you get something for it. You're getting, it's a rank. You're measured against other players. Everybody wants to rank up. You get titles for it. It doesn't have to be power. I mean, you do get gear for it, like you get a PvP trinket and you do get stuff for it. But look at the difference from nobody PvP'd, they turn the switch on, it's a bloodbath. And then what happens? They're bumping up battlegrounds to stop people from PvPing because it's just been toxic, right? So I just don't think that they realize that, like, nobody's gonna do it. I mean, when I say nobody, I mean the masses are not gonna do it just for no reason whatsoever. Just so they can die and get teabagged for what? But if they die and get teabagged and they can unlock something cool that they worked toward, then maybe they want to get, like, what's the point of them getting better at PvP if they don't get anything for it? There's no esport contract. There's no in-game title or recognition. You know, there's no ranking system. What's the point of me gearing for hundreds of hours to push on for no reason whatsoever? There's no leaderboard, you know? You would have to add uber bosses to the game. Like, you'd have to, like, fight all 7 primevals and Lilith or something at the end of Diablo every season, and that would give you some kind of completion to why you're doing what you're doing in the first place, in my opinion. This can be a whole separate video, and I might do one later, right? This has just, like, been the podcast, and I'm ranting. It's already 40 minutes on the podcast. He said, please continue to share your thoughts. We want you to be involved in Diablo 4 design process. I personally believe in making the best decisions possible with a game based on the strongest design ideas, no matter where they come from. My biggest hope is for all of us to be able to constructively discuss and iterate on the topics that are most important to the community. So keep them coming. See you in hell, David Kim. So, yeah, I'll probably make a follow-up video to the feedback, especially once we find out about the second part of everything. Shout out to our latest patron, George. Yo, George B. Thank you so much for the patronage, man. Welcome to the family. Hope you guys enjoy this discussion. I want to hear what you think in the comments below. You might change my mind, change what I think and everything like that. If you want to support the podcast further, we have new merchandise. I'll put it in the top comment of the video. I have a second YouTube channel. You can rate us on Spotify or Stitcher. There's all kinds of stuff you can do, and sub on Twitch, on YouTube. YouTube has paid subs. But yeah, man, thank you for listening. I hope you have a great season. I'll be talking to you next week. I'm going to continue to progress my characters, push, and let me know what you think about that hardcore character as well. I'm going to do some off-meta stuff, lots of fun things coming up here shortly. We have Thanksgiving on Thursday, so happy Thanksgiving to those of you that celebrate or are here in the States. And that's going to be all for me today. This is the Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.